The empire does not wake suddenly. It never has. Morning arrives without urgency, as it always has across these lands. Light spreads slowly over stone, over wood darkened by time, over tiled roofs that have watched centuries pass without asking questions. The Ottoman Empire begins its day not with movement, but with continuation. In the city, streets remain quiet. Cobblestones are cool beneath the early air. They remember the weight of footsteps from long before this morning. Nothing feels new here, and nothing needs to. Domes rise gently above the city. They do not compete with the sky. They rest beneath it. Minarets stand tall, slender and patient, unchanged by the passing of rulers. They have seen sultans come and go. They have heard voices fade into history. They remain. The empire is not loud. It does not announce itself. It exists in the arrangement of streets, in the shape of courtyards, in the familiar distance between a home and a fountain. Water flows quietly. Sabils stand at corners, waiting to serve as they always have. No one watches them closely. They are trusted to be there. Homes begin to stir, slowly. Wooden shutters open a little. Light enters rooms that have not been rearranged in years. Rugs lie where they always lie. Low tables remain centered. Nothing is rushed to be prepared. There is time. There has always been time. The Ottoman Empire stretches across many lands, but this morning feels the same everywhere. From coastal towns to inland neighborhoods, the rhythm is shared. In kitchens, fires are lit gently. Bread is prepared without ceremony. Hands move from memory, not from instruction. No one speaks of empire during breakfast. There is no need. The empire is not something people discuss. It is something they live inside. Outside, the streets remain mostly empty. A few figures move quietly. They walk without hurry, as if the day itself is not yet fully awake. Shops remain closed. Doors stay shut. Commerce will come later. There is no benefit in beginning early. The empire does not measure productivity by speed. It measures it by continuity. As the sun rises higher, light settles into its familiar places. Courtyards brighten. Shadows retreat slowly, never completely. Mosques stand unchanged. Their courtyards remain empty for now. Stone floors cool beneath the morning air. There is no movement yet, only waiting. The call to prayer will come. It always does, but not yet. The Ottoman Empire understands something deeply, that beginnings are not important. Only persistence is. In administrative quarters, buildings wait quietly. Doors remain closed. Inside, desks are already prepared. Ink rests in its container. Paper lies stacked neatly. Everything is ready. Nothing is urgent. Officials will arrive soon. They will take their places. They will do what they did yesterday, and what they will do tomorrow. Documents will be reviewed. Records will be copied. Signatures will be added slowly. The empire moves through paper now, more than through armies. But even paper does not hurry. The sun continues to rise. Light reaches deeper into the city. Still, nothing feels rushed. In neighborhoods, children wake slowly. They sit quietly for a moment, adjusting to the day. There is no alarm, no signal to move faster. Learning begins later. Work begins later. Everything begins when it is ready. The empire has lasted this long because it does not force its mornings. From above, the city appears calm. Roofs form familiar patterns. Streets wind gently. There are no sharp lines, no sudden changes. History here does not arrive dramatically. It settles. This land has known conquest, expansion, and power, but none of that matters this morning. This morning is ordinary, and ordinary is what lasts. The Ottoman Empire does not define itself by greatness. It defines itself by routine. Routine creates stability. Stability creates silence. Silence creates rest, and rest allows time to pass unnoticed. As the city fully wakes, nothing truly changes. People move, shops open, voices rise slightly, but the overall rhythm remains slow. The empire breathes deeply, slowly. This is not the story of glory. This is the story of continuation. And continuation is quiet. The day continues without announcement. There is no signal that tells people to move faster, no sound that demands attention. Life proceeds at the speed it always has. Shops open slowly. Doors creak gently as they are pushed aside. Wood meets stone with a familiar sound. Nothing feels new. Merchants arrange their goods carefully, not to impress, not to compete, simply to prepare. Fabrics are folded and unfolded again. Colors are muted by time. Hands smooth edges that have been touched 1,000 times before. Spices sit in open containers. Their scent is present but not strong. It does not rush into the air. It waits to be noticed. Weights are placed on scales. Balances settle slowly. Trade here is patient. No one counts seconds, only transactions. Coins pass from hand to hand. Their surfaces are worn smooth. They have traveled far. They have been exchanged many times. Money here does not hurry either. Streets fill gradually, not with crowds, but with presence. People walk at a measured pace. They know where they are going. They have gone there many times before. Footsteps do not echo loudly. The city absorbs sound. Stone and wood soften movement. Conversation remains quiet. Voices do not rise. There is no reason to compete with the day. Children walk beside elders. They do not pull ahead. They do not lag behind. They move together. Learning happens through observation. There are no instructions shouted across courtyards. Only repetition. Hands show hands what to do. In workshops, work has already begun. Tools are lifted carefully, placed down gently. Metal warms slowly. Wood is shaped patiently. Nothing is rushed to completion. A finished object is not celebrated. It is simply placed where it belongs. Artisans do not sign their work. The work does not need identity. It has function. Time inside workshops moves differently. Hours pass unnoticed. Windows remain open. Air moves slowly. Dust floats and settles. The empire lives in these moments, not in palaces, not in ceremonies, in the spaces between tasks. Water is fetched again. Buckets are filled. Steps are careful. Spills are accepted. No one complains about repetition. Repetition is comfort. Meals are prepared without urgency. Ingredients are simple. Preparation is familiar. Food is eaten slowly. Not for pleasure, but for balance. There is no rush to finish. The day is long. Afternoons arrive quietly. Shadows shorten. Movement slows further. Heat settles into stone. People rest where they are. Shelter is found without effort. Some sit. Some lie back. Some close their eyes. Rest is not scheduled. It happens naturally. The empire does not force productivity. It allows endurance. In offices, clerks continue their work. Documents are copied carefully. Errors are corrected without frustration. Ink dries slowly. Paper waits. No one expects speed. Accuracy is enough. Records grow thicker. Shelves fill. Nothing is discarded. History accumulates quietly. Outside, life continues unchanged. Vendors call softly. Buyers listen patiently. Negotiation is gentle. No voices rise. Agreements are reached slowly. There is time to reconsider. The Ottoman Empire stretches across continents. But here, in the street, it feels small, manageable. It fits into daily life without disruption. Children play quietly. Games do not require shouting. Laughter fades quickly. Even joy is subdued. Afternoon passes. The sun lowers. Light changes angle. Shadows grow longer. Streets soften again. The day begins to release its hold. Work slows. Tasks conclude naturally. Tools are cleaned, placed back where they belong. Shops close gently. Doors meet frames without force. Nothing is locked aggressively. Trust exists. Evening approaches without resistance. This is how the empire survives, not by force but by rhythm. Rhythm does not need instruction. It repeats itself, and repetition invites rest. Faith in the Ottoman world does not announce itself loudly. It does not demand attention. It simply exists. Mosques are already there. They do not need to be noticed. They do not change shape. They wait. Courtyards remain open. Stone floors cool slowly as the day passes. Pigeons move gently, unconcerned with belief or ritual. People pass through these spaces without stopping. Faith is not interruption. It is background. The call to prayer arrives softly, not sudden, not sharp. It blends into the air as if it has always been there. Some pause, some continue walking, some listen without reacting. Prayer does not interrupt life. Life accommodates prayer. Inside the mosque, movement is minimal. Shoes are placed carefully. Rows form naturally. No one directs them. The space is familiar. Bodies remember where to stand. The imam's voice is steady, measured, predictable. No emphasis, no urgency. Words repeat. They have repeated for generations. The meaning does not change. Only the listener does. Prayer ends quietly. People leave the same way they entered, without conversation. Outside, the day continues unchanged. Faith does not compete with routine. It supports it. Schools sit nearby. Madrasas function without spectacle. Learning happens slowly. Texts are read carefully, often aloud, often repeated. Memorization is valued more than discussion. Students sit for long periods. Movement is limited. Attention drifts naturally. Knowledge here is not chased. It is absorbed over time. Ink stains fingers. Pages wear thin. Books remain. Libraries are quiet. They do not invite exploration. They offer presence. Shelves hold texts that wait patiently. Some are never opened. This does not bother them. Time inside these spaces feels heavier, slower. Outside, administration continues. Courts function calmly. Disputes are handled without raised voices. Justice is slow, but it is steady. Paperwork moves from desk to desk. Each step is known. Decisions are made cautiously, not because of fear, but because haste feels unnecessary. Authority here is not loud, it is implied. The empire does not assert itself daily. It allows itself to be felt gradually. Public spaces remain orderly. Markets organize themselves. No visible enforcement is required. People understand boundaries. They do not test them. Order is habitual. Buildings reinforce this feeling. Wide courtyards, clear pathways, balanced symmetry. Architecture teaches patience. Nothing points sharply upward. Nothing presses downward. Even power feels horizontal. Afternoon prayers come and go. They do not mark time aggressively. They blend into it. The sun moves. Shadows stretch. Movement slows again. Faith remains, not as instruction, but as atmosphere. The empire rests within this structure. It does not need to be reminded of itself. As evening approaches, ritual becomes less formal. People pray at home, quietly, individually. No one checks, no one corrects. Faith has become private. The city softens. Sounds fade. Stone cools. Air settles. Mosques prepare for night. Doors close slowly. Lights dim. Nothing dramatic happens. Faith does not climax. It recedes. The empire enters its evening state. Evening arrives without resistance. The city does not prepare for it. It simply allows it to happen. Light fades gradually from stone walls. Colors soften. Edges blur slightly. There is no moment that marks the end of the day, only a slow transition. People return home without urgency. Paths are familiar. Doors open easily. Inside, rooms are dim. Lamps are lit gently. Flames remain steady. There is no celebration of night. Night is expected. Meals are simpler now. Leftovers are accepted. No one complains. Conversation fades naturally. Silence replaces words without effort. The empire feels heavier in the evening, not in burden, in presence. It fills spaces quietly. Children sleep early. Stories end without conclusions. Questions are not answered. Adults sit longer. They do not speak much. They listen to the sound of the city slowing. Outside, streets empty again. Footsteps become rare. Guards take their places. They stand still. Movement is minimal. Nothing is anticipated. Nothing is feared. The empire no longer thinks about growth. It thinks about continuity. Buildings settle. Wood contracts slightly. Stone cools. Time stretches. Minutes feel longer. The rhythm of the day dissolves. Only presence remains. Mosques darken. Courtyards empty. The final call fades softly. No one reacts strongly. The sound is familiar, comforting. Night deepens. Stars appear slowly. The empire rests. Not because it is finished, but because rest has always been part of its survival. Records remain on desks. Files remain unfinished. This is acceptable. There will be another day. Foreign events feel distant. They do not disturb the night. The empire has learned something over centuries. That endurance does not require alertness. It requires patience. The city breathes slowly. Air moves gently. Nothing demands attention. History does not interrupt sleep. The Ottoman Empire remains, not as an event, but as an atmosphere. It exists in silence, in routine, in repetition. Night holds everything equally. There is nothing left to explain, nothing left to resolve. The empire continues, and sleep arrives. The night settles more deeply now, not darker, just quieter. The city does not sleep all at once. It releases consciousness slowly. Some windows remain dimly lit, others go dark. No pattern is followed. Inside homes, breathing becomes heavier. Movement stops completely. The empire feels older at night, not weaker, just slower. Time does not press forward anymore. It stretches outward. Streets remain empty, but they are not abandoned. They are simply unused. Stone absorbs the cool air. Wood responds quietly. The same walls have cooled this way for centuries. They recognize the feeling. Somewhere a guard shifts his weight. The sound is brief, then gone. Nothing responds. The empire does not react at night. It observes itself. Administrative buildings stand closed. Documents wait in silence. Ink rests. Nothing is urgent enough to wake the city. The idea of urgency feels foreign here. The Ottoman Empire has survived long enough to understand something important. That time cannot be controlled, only accommodated. And so the night is allowed to exist without interference. Houses breathe gently. Courtyards collect shadows. The moon rises without reflection. It does not matter if it is noticed. Mosques remain dark. Their shapes are still visible. They do not disappear. Faith does not sleep, but it rests. Some people wake briefly. They adjust blankets. They turn slightly. Then return to sleep. No dreams are recorded, no meanings are assigned. The Empire does not interpret its nights. Outside the city, land remains unchanged. Fields rest, paths disappear into darkness. Animals move quietly. They do not disturb the balance. The Empire extends beyond walls, beyond sound. Somewhere far away, another city enters night. Another street empties. Another lamp dims. The Empire does not experience night once. It experiences it everywhere. Time becomes layered. Past nights overlap with this one. Nothing distinguishes them. This is how continuity feels. Not memorable, not dramatic, just present. The Empire does not think about its end. It has never needed to. Endings are not part of routine, only continuation. Night deepens further. Silence thickens. Even thought slows now. The listener does not need to follow anymore. The story no longer progresses. It simply remains. Breathing becomes the only rhythm. The Empire fades into background awareness. It is no longer a subject. It is atmosphere. And atmosphere does not ask for attention. It allows rest. Nothing more will happen tonight. Nothing needs to. The Ottoman Empire continues without being observed, and sleep completes the story. The night remains unchanged, not darker, not quieter, just longer. There is no moment that separates 1 hour from another. Time no longer marks itself. The city exists without intention. It does not wait for morning. It does not expect it. Streets remain exactly as they were. Stone holds its temperature. Wood remains still. No footsteps arrive. No doors open. Silence is no longer noticeable. It becomes normal. The Empire is no longer perceived as history. It becomes environment. Breathing is slow now. Thoughts lose structure. The listener does not need to remember anything. Nothing important will be said. Somewhere a lamp flickers slightly, then steadies. This movement does not matter. The Empire does not respond to small changes. It absorbs them. Walls continue standing. They do not question their purpose. Time does not press against them. The Empire has existed long enough to feel permanent. Even uncertainty feels distant now. The night is no longer an event. It is a condition. Sleep does not arrive suddenly. It spreads. The body releases tension without instruction. The mind no longer holds on to sequence. There is no story to follow. Only presence. The Ottoman Empire does not appear. It does not disappear. It remains beneath awareness. The same way a room remains even when eyes are closed. Nothing has changed, and nothing will for a while. The Empire rests without needing rest. Time continues without moving forward. If something were to happen, it would not disturb this. But nothing will. The night is complete. Not finished, just complete. Breathing continues. The Empire continues. There is no end to reach, only continuation. Silence no longer feels empty. It feels full. And that fullness does not require attention. Sleep deepens. The Empire remains unnoticed. And that is how it lasts.